Hello and welcome to No Face Meals. I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes. Today we're going to do one of my very favorite recipes, crabless cakes. I'm a big fan, used to be a big fan of crab cakes until animal protein no longer agreed with me. Today we'll be using a variety of seasonings, and this is another recipe that is just very versatile. Put in what you want, take out what you don't want. It's all good. So the base of this recipe is 1 can of garbanzo beans. And this recipe makes a lot. This recipe is going to probably do 10 to 14 crab cakes. But the good thing is once you cook them all, you can easily flash freeze them and you can pull them out and heat them up. They're just as good. So we do, and rinse your beans. This you want to reserve 4 tablespoons of the liquid, and that's what's in here. So you put we're gonna use that in a minute. 1 can of garbanzo beans rinsed. The recipe called for hearts of palm, which is a great alternative. I happen to have a big love affair on banana blossoms. And the reason why I do is banana blossoms have got so much good stuff in them. Lots of minerals, lots of vitamins. It's a superfood. So anytime I can use this, and once you cook your banana blossoms, they're going to have a texture of like fish, flaked crab, that type of thing. So first you want to kind of get these mushed up. If you don't have a food processor, you can use a fork to mash them up if you want. I have a food processor, so I use the food processor. But if you want it to be a little more chunky, you can just mash up your beans. I don't like mine quite that chunky, so I use the processor. And you don't need this heavily processed. I'm going to say that's good. You don't want mush, you just want it broken up a little bit. Because there's nothing worse than biting into a big old piece of garbanzo bean. You want it, be able to incorporate. Now I did my garbanzo beans are chickpeas because you really just want to shred your banana blossom. And you also rinse these because this comes in a brine too. So, and these make really good fish fillets, which I've already done before. I just really like banana blossoms. That they're not sweet. Maybe I should go in and because I've got a lot of people who ask. They're not sweet. They're the blossom of the banana. They really don't have much of a taste until you add it into things. When I use it for fish fillets, and I've found this a lot that it's not the flavor of the fish or the meat that people are digging. It's the seasonings in it that people are digging. So this makes a really good substitute, and it's a lot less calories, and it's better for you. You just want it broken up. You don't need it in big pieces. And you don't need it ground. You just really, really want it looking like crab. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. That's the way we want it. Okay? Took a little. And sometimes you're still going to get a bigger piece. That's okay. Just kind of shred it up as you go with your fingers. It is not a big deal. It looks like it's going to be a big fuss type of recipe, but it really isn't. So in this bowl, we're going to leave that sit there for a minute. In this bowl, I have the 4 tablespoons of reserved garbanzo bean liquid out of your can. I have a teaspoon of Bragg's, which I use in place of the Worcestershire sauce, because we don't do Worcestershire. I also have a good teaspoon of lemon juice. And you can do a little more, it's to your taste. And what you're going to do with this is you want to whisk it until it gets to looking frothy a little bit. And just about like that. You don't want to whip it, because if you whip it too much, it will be like eggs. You know, like meringue, and you don't need that. You don't need meringue, but you want kind of like that. You can put Worcestershire sauce in here if you want. I don't use it because it's not vegan. They do have vegan Worcestershire and soy, but it's got a lot of sodium, and we're trying not to do as much sodium. So I use Bragg's. Alrighty, so then you want to add, it calls for Dijon mustard. I use a dry mustard powder just because I usually don't have enough call for mustard to worry about. And I'm just going to put, oh, I guess we'll go ahead and do the whole. Then you want to give that a little swirl, break it up. Okay. Then you want to get bay spice powder. This is what's in all of your, a lot of your southern cooking that has to do with seafood. You know, it's in gumbo, it's in efouté, it's in crab boil, it's in just about any kind of seafood like. It's just an all good, it's like an all seasoning. And you want a good 1.5 teaspoons of it. And see what's in here: celery salt, mustard, red pepper, black pepper, bay leaves, cloves, allspice, ginger, mace, cardamom. It's just got a lot of good stuff in there. This you can get almost anywhere that you want, and it smells like celery. But because it already has celery salt in it, I don't feel the need to add any more salt, and I've got my Bragg's in there, so we're good. So that was 1.5 teaspoons of that. Give it a whirl. Now, if you don't have allspice, and you know, I don't want to run out to the store, and that may be the only one that, you know, the only time I use it is this one time, and I totally understand that. You can do just your plain onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper. You know, you can do something like that and not worry about it. It does call for, what does it call for? Here we go. Gotta remind myself of things. A 1/2 cup of sliced green onion. If you've got it, use it. If you don't. I'm going to use onion powder, which is fine. You can do that. Now I will go ahead and do probably a full teaspoon of, just because I happen to like onion powder. Okay, and you also need a full teaspoon of garlic powder. Can be any kind, any sort. Can be fresh if you want to be. It just depends on you and what you have. I almost always have garlic powder, onion powder, you know. Not going to put any more pepper in there because it does have some in the Old Bay, so we might just hang back on that. Now, what's going to make this taste like, I'm going to give that a swirl. What's going to make this taste like a seafood is your nori flakes. Okay, if you can't find this in your store, you can order it. You can also use kelp granules, anything that's going to make it taste that fishy taste without actually being. Sometimes stores will sell these in sheets, and you can use that. You just crumple it up, a sheet of it in there. All right, but they have. Yeah, there's also dulce flakes that are granules, or, you know, whatever you want to do with it, you can do that. And it really depends on how fishy you want this to taste. Some people say, well, there's no such thing as too too fishy, and I'm like, well, there is and there ain't, just depends on the person. It says 2 teaspoons, so we could do 2 teaspoons of these. And I am using a half a teaspoon because normally that's what I do anyway. Measure up, because you all know I don't have a teaspoon. I never have the right teaspoon. I'm just gonna put 3 in there. I think that's what I did last time. Cause I like fish, but there's just way too much fishy taste on it. If you're going to make this with hearted palms, which is readily available in your store, you're going to want 2 cans of that. And then you're just going to go ahead and rinse them and slice them in half and kind of chunk it up a little bit. Okay. I think we've got all the good stuff in there. Okay, now we got this going on like this. Then you're going to use 1/4 of a cup of some kind of mayonnaise base. This happens to be a vegan ranch dressing, because that's what I had. Use what you got. Gonna be fabulous. Okay. Now you want to give this a little whisk, and I may need a little bit of water. Or not, I don't know. So, once you get all the good stuff in there, this is kind of what it's going to look like. Now the fun part, we're going to add this up. As you can see, I've got some already that's bigger pieces than what I would like, but as you form them, you'll shred them. Is what I have plans on. Smells great already. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite recipes. It can be a little more involved, but you know, you could make this up ahead of time, have it in your refrigerator ready to go. So it doesn't have to be. So we're going to mix that all together. And I already see, like, this is too big. So you just kind of break it up. You're going to get your hands dirty with this anyway. Another piece that's like really there. But see, you got to put this in like that. And this is what this mixture looks like. Okay, now you're going to add your breadcrumbs. You can use any breadcrumbs your little heart desires. I like the panko. You use it in the dish, and you use it to coat your patties with when you fry it. I like it because it doesn't absorb a lot of oil. So you want at least a cup in there. So you're going to put your half cup in, you kind of swirl around. The end game here is you want to make sure that it's got enough to bind it with. Traditional cakes, crab cakes, have got usually an egg in it to help bind. These are vegan, so we don't have that. So texture is going to be, you know, you want to make sure it stays together. Look at here now. Get in there. Goodness gracious, what are you doing? Alright. There's your cup. Now, I just slopped it all over. Okay, after you get this put together and your breadcrumbs in, you're going to put this in the freezer. The freezer for 20 minutes. What that will do is cool everything down and help meld everything together so you can handle it, so you can pat out your patties to fry, to bread and to fry. So I'm going to put this in the freezer. And while we're waiting for it to get cool enough to fry, I'm going to show you how to make good old-fashioned potato wedges. We're going to continue with our crabless cakes. It's come out the freezer. It's been in there for about 20 minutes. I've got about maybe 2 tablespoons of oil, because we're going to saute these. Now, I like my crab cakes about so big. You can make them bigger. You can make them smaller. You're just going to form them, and then you want to dredge them in your breadcrumbs. Okay, the point of this is not to handle these a lot. Okay, you want to try and flip them just one time. You want them golden brown on both sides. So the less you handle these, the better. So just waiting for the oil to get temperature. Now you could also bake these. You need to spray a cookie sheet with some cooking spray, you know, probably at about 350 degrees, probably about 5 to 10 minutes on each side. You want them crispy on the outside, tender on the inside. Since we're going to be doing multiple fryings, you know, you want to make sure in between, you know, when you get one batch out, you're going to put another batch in. You want to make sure you wipe out your pan and add fresh oil, because residue can get stuck on there, and then you'll have uncooked surface to actually cook on. Can you hear it? That's what you're looking for, is that kind of hissing sound. I don't know if we can pick that up or not. You want to put like maybe 4 in a pan. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. And you're going to cook these probably, you know, 5 minutes on each side, because actually everything that's in here is already cooked. We're going to continue to cook these, and I'll show you the finished product. To go with our crab cakes, I'm going to show you how to make potato wedges. Honestly, if I would have known I could do this easy, you know, I would have been done this. Quick, simple. Don't need a lot of different things. Now, you can season these up any way you want to, but I've just got to give out a shout to this company, Delicio. They make a whole line of vegan spices. Okay, believe they have 5 different kinds of bacon seasoning. Tastes just like the same. And I love the ranch. So I've washed these, and we leave the skin on. You're gonna have them, and these are small, so I'll probably just have them again. If they're a bigger potato, I'll make 2 more cuts out of that. But you know, I mean, literally, this is just quick, easy. 30 minutes in the oven, done. Last 5 minutes, you do want to like flip them over so the other side can get brown. And this is the fun part here. In this bag, you're going to add about 1/4 of a cup of some kind of oil. Usually I do avocado, but today I'm doing olive. Okay, in the bag it goes. And yeah, I'm supposed to measure that out. Honestly, with this, it don't matter that much. Okay, the cheesy part comes here now. Behave yourself. Don't want the oil running all over. Cheese part comes from my favorite ingredient, nutritional yeast. This tastes like, will make anything taste cheesy like. Use it a lot. So we're gonna put, get in there, you. I like a lot of cheese in mine. I won't lie. I have had people just eat it out of the bag and say, but this don't taste like cheese. No, you gotta add it to things. Let's not be silly with it. Okay, so I put like 3 teaspoons, so 1 tablespoon, because I like a lot of cheese. Now, gonna put my bacon flavoring in. It's gonna give it that nice. I'm only gonna put 2 teaspoons in there. Probably that's more than enough. If you don't use a mix like this, you're gonna want to put a little salt or Bragg's in there. But because this has already got salt in the flavoring, in the seasoning, I'm not gonna. Then you just throw your taters in there. Didn't look like there was a whole big bunch of potatoes in there, but now I know the recipe said to so you're gonna get those potatoes all nice and seasoned. To put it on a cookie sheet and bake them. Well, we tried that, and my baking sheets don't have any lip on it, so it yeah, made a mess in my oven. So I'm gonna spray this glass baking dish, and I've done this before, so I know this works. And what you kind of want to do is you want this to be in like a single layer. You know, you want to try and get it in a single layer so it all has the same equal opportunity to get all that good stuff. You don't, you know, you want them to be crispy on the outside and creamy on the inside. We didn't used to eat a lot of potatoes until we started doing this. We kind of figured, you know, and then we started adding different seasonings and, you know, wonder what this is going to taste like. I wonder if we can do that to it. You know, that type of thing. So we eat these quite often. And this is a really nice, just quick, easy side dish. You can use whatever oil you want. Usually I use avocado. Today I'm using olive. You can use vegetable oil if you want. It's not that big of a deal. I just happen to like the way avocado and the or the olive tastes. It's all a matter of what you got in your cupboard and what you like. You tend to stock what you like. Almost there. Okay. One more, 2 more. So as you see, this actually filled this whole thing up. And unlike like French fries or tater tots where you can eat like 20, honestly, you could probably eat. If I get this and a couple of these and a couple of the crab cakes, I'm good. I'm going to pour the rest of this over the top. It doesn't say to. It won't kill it none. But I want all my seasoning. And this is probably why the baking sheet didn't work for me. Alright. All done. I'm going to put this in a 400-degree oven. And you're going to bake it for 25 minutes. Pull it out. Flip them over. Bake for another 5. We'll be back. And here is our finished dinner. As you see, the crab cakes are nice and golden brown, and our cheesy bacon potato wedges are nice and crispy. One of our favorite meals. You could also, instead of frying or baking your either your potato wedges or your crabless cakes, you can also air fry them. It looks like it's lunch to me. For No Face Meals, I'm your host, Marjorie Haynes, where the food are the stars.